How much is it costing you to not own a piece of real estate? That's what we're going to get into today. Hi, I'm Jason Wilson with Ursin Associates. Thank you so much for being here. If you enjoy content and answering questions in less than 6 minutes, please go ahead and give us a thumbs up and subscribe because it helps the algorithm out. We'd love to hear from you and get a comment below. Today's topic is going to be answering this question, specifically in Cherokee County. How much is it costing you per day to not own a piece of real estate in Cherokee County? Let's get into this. Okay, so this question is, I love this one because so many times people are saying, I want to wait until interest rates come down. I would like to wait till I save up more money. I'm going to wait till prices crash. There's all these things. So what we did is we took all the data in Cherokee County and tried to compile it to see what the annual appreciation was averaged over a decade. So that's going to take into account not just, so this data isn't just 2020 through 2024, it's going to be over a 10-year period. So this should be a fairly good picture of what that looks like, because that would put us back to 2014, which is about the beginning of when we were climbing out of the crash that the market had. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull up some data here. So right here, this is the Cherokee average rate of appreciation. And you can see this is categorized by month. It shows that these are the median prices, right? So I know I said average, but we want to say median. And so let's talk about that for a second. What's the difference between average and median? So average includes all the data, highs and lows. So if you have a couple really huge, let's just say $10 million sales, they would skew the data dramatically. Median actually cuts out the highs and the lows, the outliers, and sticks somewhere in the middle and then looks for its own average within that new parameter known as a median price. So this is much more accurate in determining what we think we are getting with averages and it being median. So anyway, let's get back into it. Okay, so you can see that what the numbers that we look like, the average of these rates, we had 9%, 7%, 8%, 10%. So this gives you a good picture of where some of the numbers did jump up as they crossed over in here. So it's 10, 5, 7, 17, 14, 6, and we're just now currently into 2024. And we're actually looking at 1% in 2024. So it's definitely less than it was. This 17 and 14 probably isn't going to be here. But if you look across this, the only one that was really, really weak, in fact, it still was a great year, was 2019 shows as 5% in Cherokee County, where last year still hit 6% as we crossed this threshold. But over the last decade, that is going to be 9%. And so if you were to break down the appreciation on the average price house, let's just go ahead and do that math real quick. Okay, so I'm going to break out a calculator here, and I am going to see what we can do with this. So the median price, as we look at this in December, heck, I'll just use the one that's right now in February of 2024, was $480,950, as you can see right here that's represented on the screen. If we look right up here. Now, you can see this is fairly consistent as you go through here, but let's even just take a lighter number of 450. All right? So we'll go back and say, okay, so $450,000 as a median sales price at a 9% average appreciation over the next decade. That's $40,500 per year over the next decade. If I were to divide that by $365, that's $110.95, actually rounded up 96 cents, every single day that appreciation would happen on a median priced house and at the 450. 450, if you were to take this number and let's just say, what's your price point? If your price point is $600,000, which is not unreasonable right now in Cherokee County, and you took $600,000 and you were to look at that at 9% year over year, average return is $54,000 divided by the same 365 days, you're at $147.94. So take whatever that price point of the house of what you either own or want to buy and do the 9% and put it over 300, divided by 365 days. It'll tell you the dollar per day, which means from an equity standpoint, my wealth grows by $147 a day at a $600,000 price point in Cherokee County. And that is just appreciation. This does not take into account the tax write-off you get for interest, which is a savings right there. This does not take into account your debt reduction, right? So you're making a mortgage payment. If you're making a rent payment, it's 100% interest, right? Because it all goes to the mortgage, but just not your mortgage, right? So you get no equity for that money. This one, you get a write-off for the interest and you get the bill paid down, right? So over the course of 30 years, if it's a 30-year mortgage, that bill becomes zero, right? It's fully paid off. Plus, if it's $147, let's just say that stays static over 30 years. You did that per day for 30 years on a $600,000 house times 30. That's $1.62 million in appreciation plus its original price of $600,000. So this is telling you what property is going to look like in 30 years at this level of appreciation. It's $2.2 million is what a $600,000 house would be worth with that level of appreciation over that time. Now, you might say to me, Jason, that's ridiculous. This has been a very high appreciation market. I hear you. I get it. I even agree to some point. So let's take a long historical average. What is the sustainable historical average of appreciation that happens year over year? Does anybody know the number? The number is 4%, right? So let's take the same math and apply it there. Let's even just use a $500,000 price point, right? So it's going to be closer to the median of what's going on here. So now we're going to take $500,000. I'm going to go ahead and multiply that by 4%, right? Something that's way more sustainable. So that's $20,000 a year in value. If I take that times 30 years, that's $600,000. So now that $500,000 house is doubled in price on a very conservative estimate, right? So that you're putting that at $1.1 million. You might say that's far more reasonable and sustainable. I would agree. So let's look at the math on this. $20,000 in growth each year, right? So we're going to divide that by 365 days in the year. You're still $54.80 per day in growth that you would be getting. That's still significant because now you have to take into account the rest. Let's say you have a killer mortgage at a really low rate. Let's just say, for instance, you owe $350,000 on that. Let's just say, for argument's sake, that your mortgage is somehow at $2,500. And let's say, for argument's sake, that $1,500 of those dollars went to interest. So $1,500 on average in interest over the year means $18,000 went to interest. If you're in a 25% tax bracket, that means you can use that $18,000 on your primary residence, and that would be $4,500 in savings. So now you've gone from $20,000 to $24,500. You also have debt reduction in that same scenario. And again, these are hypothetical, fictitious scenarios. You have $1,000 going towards the principal balance, because remember we said $2,500, $1,500 in interest, $1,000 in taxes. I know that's not exactly how it works, but you'll still see the picture. That's $12,000 more dollars, right? So now we've gone to $40,000, somewhere in the $40,000 range. This is getting to be a lot of money. So now your $54 is back up to $100 a day. So bottom line, whether you're doing 4% appreciation or you're doing 10% appreciation, the bottom line is owning a piece of real estate is probably akin to, at a minimum, of somebody putting $100 a day into your pocket for the next 30 years. What would that be worth to you? What I can tell you is if you're renting a property, you're paying the same amount of money, maybe more, going out the door and it's 100% interest that you get none of those benefits. You don't get debt reduction, you don't get appreciation, you don't get a tax write-off. None of these things actually benefit you from this. So that's what it's costing you per day to not own a piece of real estate here in Cherokee County. A lot of people in this tumultuous time where interest rates have been higher than they have been in a while have said, let's wait to buy real estate. I would tell you that the answer is buy real estate, then wait. It's not a get rich quick. It's an over time. You have to have a roof over your head. I'm not saying buy luxury more than you can afford. Buy what you're paying in rent. If your rent is X, try to find something that would fit something close to that and run the math numbers on it. If you want a free consultation of what it takes to get ready to purchase real estate in this market and how to win in 2024, give us a message, DM us inside the system, and we'll send you our free ebook of how to win in 2024. And we'll even set up a free consultation if you'd like to figure out what your next steps would be. Thanks a lot. Look forward to talking to you soon.